In my restless dreams, I see the town Silent Hill. Hi everybody, I'm Gleb Alexandrov for CreativeShrimp.com and welcome to another very exciting tutorial. Today we're gonna talk about how to create your own Silent Hill in Blender and Photoscan. And photogrammetry is a very trending subject. Right now it's wreaking havoc in 3D modeling. And I will show you the basic workflow with taking some photos of your city and automatically making a 3D model in Photoscan, then adding fog in Blender using volume scatter. So let's get started and go straight to the quick and very brief description of the workflow. And on the screen you see the examples of what we can get by using this technique. And I want to encourage you to visit CreativeShrimp.com and see the Lighting Open project if you haven't done it already. Lighting Open project is a series of tutorials devoted to digital lighting for nerds. Alright, so the first thing that you need to do is to scout a creepy location in your city. And that I guess won't be too hard if you have a ruined and old stuff nearby. For example, I just went for a walk and after 5 minutes searching, I stumbled across this building. It looked for me totally like they come from Silent Hill, straight from hell. Okay, and the next step is to wait for shitty weather. Because for photogrammetry, you absolutely need to have no shadows on your models. Because you will relight stuff in Blender, and if the model have baked shadows, that won't work. And the next step is to go to location and take photos. The rules of the photogrammetry is pretty simple. No shaky hands, no blur, no using flash, no random people while you're shooting, and no soft focus, everything should be sharp, and no changes in lighting while you're taking photos. If you follow all these steps, I will guarantee that you will get something out of the photogrammetry process. And after you take photos, just process them in Photoscan to automatically create a 3D model. First click on Add Photos and add everything that you have shot. Just be sure it doesn't contain the crappy photos or something like that. And then you will need to align photos by clicking Align Photos. Bam, surprise. And after doing this, you will have a point cloud. Now we need to build a dense point cloud. And you can already see how we got a 3D model out of the photos. The next logical step is to build a mesh and choose a polygonal density that your computer can handle. And then prepare coffee, drink it, because you will have time for that. Building mesh can run for an hour or even more. And after building mesh, just construct a texture atlas. And if you did everything correctly, you just need to export your model to Blender in the OBJ format. And if you haven't used the Photoscan before, you will be hugely surprised. You will be freaking excited with the result. Now we should go to the step 5, import 3D model into Blender, and let's optimize it a bit. Because initial Photoscanned model will contain some floating vertices, some patches of geometry that protrude through everything else, and we don't need it. Go to Edit mode by pressing Tab, then select and delete all unnecessary vertices. And you can also use the Bisect tool. What this tool does, it just cuts through the mesh and after it deletes all unnecessary. Chances are that Blender will work very slow during these operations, but never mind. We can wait, don't we? So after cleaning this stuff, you should have something like that. Nice and clean. And now it's time to decimate. If you have produced a pretty dense, in polygonal sense, model, then we need to decimate it using the Decimate modifier. Ooh, it was hard. So let's pick a ratio that looks okay, that doesn't erase too much details. And in this example, I reduced the poly count to 100,000 polygons. That's pretty insane for the game model, but for Blender render it looks alright. Alright, cool. What's next? Let's add a light, because if you render right now, you will get dark something. For illuminating this object, I've just created a large mesh light. And after you enable it, you will see that the lighting is probably too harsh, but that's alright, as we'll add a fog using volume scatter shader, and it will equalize the colors. And let's go to step 8, unleash the all-devouring fog. That's definitely the most exciting part of the tutorial. So go ahead and create a box and assign the volume scatter material to it. After seeing the result, you would need to play with the anisotropy value. That value controls, I would say, the relationship between the light and the fog. The value of 0 means the fog is completely uniform. And when you increase the value, the fog shifts towards the light source. So, if you have done all these steps, you should have something like that, and honestly, I think nothing looks better than Silent Hill-ish building covered with fog. Nothing. And the last step of this tutorial is to turn on the radio and listen to Silent Hill. And feel free to tell me in the comments what did you hear. So that was the basics of using Photoscan and Blender to create a foggy scene, and for further learning I recommend you to visit ClassyDog YouTube channel. James has produced a so amazing tutorial about using Photoscan that I just want to encourage you to watch it. Alright, so I hope you really enjoyed this quick tutorial. I'm Gleb Alexandrov, and feel free to visit creativeshrimp.com and see what is this lighting open project. I guarantee that you will be 100% excited. Thank you so much for watching it, and we'll see you next time.